Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. Well, some exciting news. Well, exciting to me, I'm sure exciting to a lot of other people in the retro gaming community. Just broke today about Intellivision making a comeback. Now, we've already had talks of Atari making their comeback with the Atari box. And there's been a lot of speculation about that thing. I mean, there's just been a lot of hate, there's a lot of love. The thing is, though, the Atari box is trying to break out into the modern market, trying to create a modern machine that does all these modern things. People calling it vaporware, people calling it, you know, just a Raspberry Pi with, you know, or whatever on Linux. Lots and lots of different names about it. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to talk about the Atari box. Right now I want to talk about Intellivision, because that was my favorite system. Still is my favorite system. That's what I grew up with. And, you know, if you've watched any of my previous episodes, my videos, you'll hear me often talk about the Intellivision. And I was quite surprised at this news. I mean, I didn't expect this to happen. I knew that the Intellivision Lives was a thing, you know, where they kind of resurrected the Intellivision in the sense of selling video games on the Xbox and on your PC. I remember buying the PC version of it. And then getting it on, I think I have it on like the Wii or something. I got it on a few different systems. So we always kind of had it there as far as emulation is concerned. And of course there was the AtGames Intellivision Flashback, which I don't actually own. You know, things like that. All these little bits of Intellivision things. But it was just kind of, you know, remember this thing existed type of thing. And so what really just happened is that a person by the name of Tommy Tallarico, I think I said his name right, recently, I guess, acquired the rights to own the Intellivision franchise, to own the games, to own the system, the console, and has teamed up with all the developers, or some of the developers, not all of them. Unfortunately, the original founder, Keith, he's passed away, but this is probably something that he might have purchased through an estate or something. I think I've read a little bit about that. And so his concept is, you know, the memories of the Intellivision always lived with him. Just like with me and a lot of other fans of the system, it was something that you grew up with. It was something that you enjoyed. It was something that you kept with you. I mean, yeah, it's a system that no longer, you know, existed past, I think, the 90s, and a lot of people probably have forgotten about it. I'm sure most people of today, unless you're over 30, don't even know it really exists. So it seems like his plan is to try and bring that experience back. And the brilliant thing is, he's not trying to compete with the other major video game consoles of today. He's not trying to say, this is going to be your next Xbox, this is going to play 4K games, this is good. None of that. He wants this to be a system for family, a fun system. It almost kind of reminds me of the Wii, you know, when the Wii came out, and people who are not really gamers, people who didn't really look at the system as a gaming system really, and looked at it just to have fun, you know, that's kind of where he's going at. He wants to bring it back, but it's also going to play, you know, some classic Intellivision games, apparently. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of information on it yet. They are going to be releasing that. And the other thing I kind of liked about it is he wants to take an honest approach at it. He doesn't want to start throwing out all these, you know, wild hints, and, you know, the Atari box seemed kind of sketchy with that one, where people didn't really know what the heck it was going to do. This, he's trying to be honest and say, you know what, this is going to be a gaming machine. It's going to be like a classic retro-style gaming machine. It's going to be simple. It's going to be fun. It's not going to do anything else. It's not going to play Netflix videos. It's not going to be 4K this, or, you know, it's not going to be the greatest, latest technology. And it's going to be affordable. I mean, that's another thing. The Xbox, or the Atari box, or whatever it's called now, the Atari VCS, I'm still calling it the Atari box, seems pretty expensive. So I think what he's doing is he's going to be like, this is going to, you know, dial it back a bit. Which is kind of funny, because if you think about the way the past was, the Intellivision was the expensive console, the Atari was the cheap one. So it's kind of done this, you know, 360 here. But, and you know, other than that, just the idea that, he wants to bring the brand back. He wants to bring the brand that I love. Even during its lifespan, it did go through some iterations. I mean, there was the Intellivision 2, which, was an improvement over the original system. I don't know how long this lasted on the market. And apparently an Intellivision 3 existed. I don't know much about it, but, that was around the end of its life cycle. They had a keyboard and all this other stuff going on. Of course, for me, I always played on the original Intellivision. My favorite game was always this one. I don't know why, but it was. This was what I grew up as a kid, even though people really bashed the crap out of it. And I've talked about that to death. But, yeah, it's just exciting news to me. I don't know what else, they plan on doing. I don't know if there's going to be, like, peripherals that are going to be included in this. There's not a whole lot of information. But just the thought that, Intellivision has a chance to come back into this market in this day and age when, you would have thought they would be long gone pieces of history. Kind of like the Atari and Nintendo. Nintendo has their classic systems that kind of came out. The NES Classics and, their emulators and stuff like that. And that's the other thing, too. I mean, this system supposedly is not just going to be an emulator. It's not just for that purpose. Does raise a few questions, though. Is it going to have, like, a cartridge slot? There was mention of it having an SD card reader, so probably that's how it's going to read the ROMs or the games for the Intellivision. And they mentioned it's going to come with, like, 10 games, so that, again, we don't know what that means. That could be 10 previous, Intellivision classic games, like Utopia, Astro Smash, stuff like that. Or it could be 10 completely new games. There's been a lot of great homebrews that have come out. There's been a lot of great stuff that's come out and improvements on Intellivision stuff. I've barely scratched the surface on anything kind of past what I was used to when I was a kid. But I know there's a lot out there. I mean, even just getting my hands on playing D2K, which was amazing experience. I still don't have a physical cartridge, but I play it on the emulator and it works. It's fine. It makes me wonder if I'll be able to play it on this system, because that will be cool. I don't know, if the homebrew community is going to be involved in this. I know there was a lot of talk of some of the original designers, so the game programmers, and a few other people. Paul Newman, sorry, I screwed your name up. He's going to be in there, and he's really big. He's part of the Intellivisionaries podcast. Things like that. There's going to be a lot of exciting things going on. Unfortunately, we have to wait till October before we get any more information, which is kind of a bummer. But, it's kind of enough to keep us excited about this, get us talking, get the ball rolling, see what's going to happen. Anyways, I'm kind of excited about this. I know a lot of people are probably still going, what's an Intellivision? But hopefully that changes, and hopefully it can, cement its place in today where the Atari and Nintendo are still running strong. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions or ideas or anything you would like to talk about regarding this topic. And, I hope you subscribe to my channel, leave comments below, and talk to you later.